Alright, we're gonna make sure everything's working first. Hold on. Alright, check that. And again, I'm gonna apologize to everybody. There could be a slight buzz in the audio, just because I have the fan on behind me in the window. Video quality, checking on that. All right. And my Twitch page is first. I think Twitch is just being twitchy. Come on, Twitch, behave. Not so much like Twitch. Well, it's Twitch, but not Twitch. How? You know, it's one of those. Going onto the actual stream page, it's working fine, but my creator dashboard that I have all the access, that's being a little bit pain in the arse. So. Things aren't updating, freezing. I don't know what's going on. Uno momento, por favor. Oh, what's going on here? Alright, going into that, that's fine as I'm figuring out what is going on with my creator dashboard. Lord. Why are you being a pain in my butt? You're fine. You're behaving. That's behaving, but yet that's not. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Refreshing, having it do stuff and the like. And now it seems to be behaving. Ah, that's right. Still doing double check, make sure everything is sort of behaving. Alright, well, we'll just let it go and we will come back to it. Hey. Everybody remembers we were last, I think it was last Friday? Methinks it was we played Final Fantasy. For those who were here, we just started the Endwalker expansion. So now let's see how it goes. See how it behaves. Oop, OBS need to behave too. Trial. Alright, as the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive at the doorstep of the phenomenon, but I think as we've explored enough for one day, we can take you there another time. Inside with you, then. Oh, this one was spoken. Nope, okay, not voice. I'm back. I even brought Nienda and Raha with me. Ah, you're right about the ship then. Hello, Raha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Nienda. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ojika? Ojika Tsunjika, it has been an age. Quite literally for you. Allow me to introduce Ojika Tsunjika, administrative office here for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the annex. The champion of Eorzea has featured prominently in Kryl and Graha's reports, so for me, this is akin to seeing a fabled hero come to life. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlian. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodging to our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. And yet, it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure the Talaforoi fall. Fail works too. Through that door on the left is where the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. And once everyone arrives, that is. You probably have time to rest before our discussion begins in earnest. Door 2. I had a private quarters prepared for you private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. I have hiccups. Oh, good. Ah, the nap rooms, perfect for an afternoon doze. I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. It was simply that we are often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron and just steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll happily show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Alright, so speak with Cryle in the main hall. Oh. Alright, feeling refreshed and alert? Well, technically no, I haven't done anything there, but that's fine. Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
No pressure.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alice and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavnair. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavnair on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nidana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Alright, I'm going to watch. Where'd you go? Eh. Keep it aside for a glamour. Alright, do I want to go to Thavnair or take care of what Kral and then want to take them first? I mean, it doesn't matter in the end, you do both, but We'll do Thavnir first. Alright. I have Kryle's instructions in hand. If you are ready to set up, then so are we. Having been at Thavnir before, I can travel by Etherate. But what of the rest of you? Another sea voyage would be a waste of time we do not have. Kryle was of the same mind, and has already secured an aid of the good folk at the confluence. On the confluence, excuse me. We'll take ourselves there. The confluence, thou sayest. I'm afraid so, my friend. Thou wilt recall the hunt for Iceheart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered our owning to the knowledge of our comrade Moonbrita? Except Urianger is so hard. Moonbrita was an authority on aetherology, a field of study she did embark upon in pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the confluence. Haven't you gone to see them yet? I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame, my courage failed me at the last. As it hath the many times as I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus have I kept my silence. Whether you come with us or not is your choice and yours alone. If it is too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the confluence, and I shall face that which hath long been overdue. If it's settled, let us be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Heat. I think I should pronounce that. Let's go ahead and we'll grab Kryles. Alright, An unsettling change has come over Charlian, but together we will divine the underlying cause of the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Charlian's archive of historical records for any hint of connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. And now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside the Numen, shall we? Numenon, excuse me. Exit the entrance to the right, and you will find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Yep, screw it. Alright, we are going. Let's go ahead and do that way. To the library. My directions for each net to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of the Numenon, Charlian's greatest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, one of many at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Charlian is free to enter and pursue the shells, Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Shistola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphino will help me continue my search for the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you were only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance, even though there should be a number of books which touch upon Charlian history of foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot that sort of clue we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I have told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found something promising tomes. Happy reading. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Ouch. And the story of Shadian. Long, long ago, on the island of the Northern Sea, there lived a Rodigan man by the name of Ninkrif. I think I'm pronouncing that right? Ninkrif was a student of astrology, and he divined that the flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for the imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nimkif's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only a moment to spare, Nunkrip wove the mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to the safety atop Abalatha's spire. Refugees from the surrounding region huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over a dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Ninkrip gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks, and they journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on a beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time became the city of Charlian we live in today. Hold on, stretching my leg. Oh. I'm old. Alright, there we go. Roads of the Old Colony? Might be worthwhile. Many years ago, on the banks of the Phaliac in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. The settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of the growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Charlians. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlian colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charlian, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Charlian inhabitants, if pressed by name, would simply be referred to as the Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idyllshire. Okay, was that enough? Nope, that was not one I needed. I probably won't read the rest of these. I'll just click on them and go through them if I need to. No, Voices of a Growing City. I mean, it might be, but... Yeah, I'll leave it up long enough that you guys read, but I'm not gonna read them all just right now. I've got a bad case of cotton mouth, so I'll leave it up for a little bit. Oh, stretch. That's number 2. Like I said, I've got a bad kid's cop mouth, and actually it's kind of making it difficult to read. So I won't read the books. I'll keep reading out when people talk. At least until I can't anymore. So, all right. Excuse me. I don't think this is one I need to read. Whoop. Nope, that was not another one of those. The Forever 20 Summers sounds like a romance novel, if you ask me. Yep, okay, that was it. I'm an idiot. Moving on back to where we were. Let's see. What was... Let's try it. We have... Actually, one thing I should do before I continue this. See if there's anything I can put into the WA, since I did change that with 7.5. I don't think there's anything I can, because I think most of the stuff I have is pre 7.0, obviously, because we're in 6 right now, but I'll see what I can drop off. That one I can put in. That's that one I can put in. Nothing. Nope. level 80 for Puglet. 510 and level 500. Where is it? The Mysterium Tower does need to go. Drop that off in here, actually. Ah, okay, that's set to. That's already been set to something. Okay. Okay, let's put the true blue. Yeah, I'll do that. I want to actually hold on. What's that actually? Do I have any of the rest of it? No, I don't. I'm curious, since we've done... So we can do the just part of it, or I can equip the whole set. Okay. Kind of curious how that worked out, since I did change that a lot. Shadowless attire, okay. Just got the one, okay. What does that one look like? Oh, okay. That is the Bravo Keeper's attire scout. I need... Apparently I missed shoes when I did that. Alright, but that's okay though. Does that one look like? Is there anything else? No. Da, 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 ba, ba. Doesn't look like I have any. Oh no, there's still some more here. Okay, so I can go with either one of these sets. We'll put in the first one. No, I will stick with... Oh, what's that one? Okay, it's kind of a basic outfit. Oh, let's get some cool marks in the arm. What's this one look like? That's a good one for the black mage for appearances. We'll do that one. I have 16 left. Okay. Sorry about those for now. Cleared out some space. Excuse me. Okay. It is, I say, it's uncomfortable from your in here. Temperature slightly, yeah, it feels like that actually. It's warm. Sprint. Come on. I am level 1 for Arma Gathering. Should work on fishing one these days. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrow at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryl should be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a raised supply of hot tea. Oh, I was quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants to ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Charlene, we were not allowed to cross the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Charlene, yes, but I was born rather farther away. In the southern reaches of the Ilsabard, in fact, for generations my people have dwelt in Corvos, a coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. The Allagans founded the city in the fertile land and by ship brought in subjugated tribes of Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvus braved the journey back to Eorzea. My answers, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvus under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Ammonius. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the noble house Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been rising in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties and the knowledge to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Charlene citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Charlenes than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacy. Un momento? Like I said, cotton mouth. With sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title Archon. This is exactly why I have such a love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books. More company should be arriving any moment now. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we'll be looking to research papers on the Umbral Calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarad firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Establishing complete destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing the powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fires erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have found something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Yostolo summarizes that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Let's see, the star was engulfed in disaster all at once. The say it began keening sound from the land itself. Alf, no, you can answer this one. I'm going to do it, the keening sound. Ah, yes, Amarantians spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by an ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I have to speak with one of the Numenon's mammoths, and ask any further books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up further sacrifice to healing the ravages of the final days. Lives were sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls that they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now that my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophori truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We see what they're doing with those towers of theirs is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst. Are they attempting to mirror the condition caused by the unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. La 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 la. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stack produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned that the source is reflections from the Garun oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. It is even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Fortunal with knowledge of the Telophori and their machination, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. You labor what feels like an age as you stole its research assistant. I'm sure she worked us like crazy. Alright, what do we got? Crap. Alright, before we go do this, I need to get up. I need to use the restroom real quick, so everybody take a break. Yeah, we've only been at it for a little over an hour. Get up, stretch your legs, grab something to eat, you know, the drill. I will be right back. Nature's calling, my eyeballs are floating away. So, let me go ahead and we'll go be right back. Anakin God. Alright, I'm back. Thank you. It took a little bit longer. The wife decided it was time to go to bed too, so we put the weef to bed. And it's about that time. It's 9:30, so it's about her bedtime for a Friday. And then her inner thigh decided it needed to cramp, so we had to spend a couple minutes massaging that out. So sorry for the wait. I had to take care of the boss, the boss lady. So I do appreciate you guys waiting. For those who are still, we lost a few people. That's okay. You guys enjoyed the music. All right. Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Yeah, I found a few. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a man at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Seriously, I don't think I know the meaning of the word rest. Where, oh where, oh where? Why didn't I equip that one yet? My materia from that. Leave my materia for that. Oh, looks like I lost. Let me see. What am I missing? Oh, an earring. Okay. Oh, a lot of stuff. Okay. Let me go and just do this. Assign gear. Let's see, ready for a tea break? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last down the harbor, don't you? Come and meet near the table, outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Oh, son of a... Oh, sorry about that. That hurts so bad. It's busy as ever, I see. How very Charlene that no other gourmand cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophoroi. Might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We are simply wondering if you knew the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised to end all that we hold dear and... Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard that you disowned it for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are, giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I have naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come. Just because they're enlightened does not mean they aren't closed-minded. Let's see. Yes, I don't believe we've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. I'll say you're kind of coming in a little heavy-handed. My goodness, if it isn't young Miss Levieux. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if we were to reach Master Fortunal that was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Yes, I'll say you're kind of coming on a little on the heavy-handed side. I know that's you. But for Pete's sake, a barbarian like myself knows you're coming on a little hard. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mrs. Alice I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seemed like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had sailed to Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately, there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated. If I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly, everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortunal may have been, news of your family's doing never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions, and only Charlene has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find. Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, our patrons appear to be unwilling. Your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there were more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. It's got a little subterfuge, a little, little discretion, I would say. Not everything needs to be done with a hammer. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, then ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Tea. Oh my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talafra. Who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to the current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, comic or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. That would be something. You have the omelet. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No times to wait. It's kind of catchy. What? Teleferi? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? But stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. And the lobster. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and stuffed to afford this heavenly dish. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world, procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlotte. Process books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. By all accounts, gleaning is most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Teleferi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncategorized rarities will be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the dock all day. I've never seen this hectic before. Not like this. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Foreign does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, the cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossip and their wagging tongues. Excuse me. Oh. Yes, this should do nicely, out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
No comment.
If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Yes, do I have any FUD? I do have some. Bring that down to... Well, should we tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners? Go on ahead to the Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Welcome back. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Makes sense. The Gleaners take the requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. And sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let's see what the theory we can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Nienda and Alice learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet, my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telafori is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorze's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And, if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Let's see. And what should we expect now? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Alright, let's go. Oh, I forgot they did the WoW level speed. Actually, if not anything worse, this is the roleplay walk, and I am so fast compared to Alice Hay. If I would determine on a run, it'd be ridiculous. Let's do laps. I know she's young, has shorter legs. You to do this. Da, 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 da. You're slow. Let's see. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune it to the shard back there, didn't you? Otherwise, it would make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. I already did a long time ago. Alright. We're all here now? Yes, I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Not what you expected.
I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh. Did you call to me just now? No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Well, I'm here. Be around here. And right around this spot. Adamville, my soon-to-be friend. You're here to help or give me more headaches because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into the pile of crates. Now I have to have a pack of marmots running loose. Let's see. Your exchange with Aaronville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Let's see here. We're gonna do this. Oh, those are the 99 that needs to get put on the auction house. Forgot to do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna use these anytime soon. I'm not high enough to trade them in for... parent company credits yet. Keep this one though, because that's gonna be part of a set. What did you look like? I want to keep you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me think. The Rhea seed should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snowberry 1060, or were they 1061? Oh, my head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corthian carrots for the Giribani carrots? Then what? Let's see, you want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and orb and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in labyrinthos, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps, orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, preparing for the next big expansion. Let's see, any luck? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. You were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. we would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who was tasked with them to do it. If you're game, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if we were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards being more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charm upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Adamville, we have to chat. We need to talk. You wish to help me find the marmots? I have nothing to do to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name's Aaronville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there's no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack, gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard, there are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Let's go ahead and bring out Miala. Quite a bit more that way, so I don't need this yet. I think they might be up there. Yep, there they are. It's one. Chirp, squeak, squeakers. Barely have you ready the sack, and the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. Do I have all the horses? Mounts. No, I don't. I need to do those. I should. Take a quick break from MSQ after this mission and maybe see about getting one of the, it's more of the, mounts. Some more damn horses. Now, the question is, do I have those unlocked? Did I bother to unlock those? Oh, for God's sakes, that hurts. I did, okay. Okay. Squeak squeakers, squeak squeak 'em. We'll do that in just a second. I need to get this. Is it over here? Doesn't look like. We're looking at northwest by 27 yalms. Oh, it's up there. Okay. Alright, from here, where is the southeast 67 yalms? So it's kind of all over the place, isn't it? There it is. Fine, we'll take care of you. That should only give me, what, 4 in this zone? Yep, 4 and 5 quest-wise. I know I should be doing AoE, but I don't really want to. Oof, I'm not in a good spot here. I don't have any... Ah, I just realized I didn't have my potions on my action bar. Son of a biscuit. Oh well. Alright, so I just need to do that. Well, I'm here. Well, I'm here. I'm gonna put the Naughty Nanka up for sale. Put you up. I haven't done anything with you, any of you guys. What you going for right now? 500 and 8,000. I'll put 1,000. Just cause. Anything on here I want to sell? Not current. I do need to. Yeah, I haven't really done anything with my retainers on this with character. Which. Crit, let's definitely do some crit. Do I have any higher? No crit on that one. Okay, so determination, skill speed. I definitely want to go skill speed. Correct hit rate. Oh, I do another skill speed. I don't want to do a direct hit. Let's do skill speed. I want to actually like really speed up what my rotation. I definitely want to go crit. I need to get savage aim 8. So 2. I really gotta get my crafting up for this character. Again, one of the things I've not done yet. Because that way I can actually, meld my own materia. And maybe over meld them too. Actually, let me see here. We'll take a quick break from the MSQ and see if do I have. I don't have any of the other. I have Xanthos, so I have Gillifax. So I have something like this. We're just gonna do that. So I already have the Navel and the Howling Eye already done. So these Bowl of Vendors, Thorn March, the Whirl Eater, the Striking Tree, the Ak-Atha Amphitheater. And Exhort Howling Eye and the Navel are done. Alright, let's go and try, and we'll take a quick break from the MSQ, and we're going to go trying to get mounts. Trying not to sneeze. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh. Hate that. Hate that. I've really done it with this, it's been a while. Readjust my chair. we don't need to worry about this. Zoom my butt out so I can look at the Ifrit. Gonna be invulnerable? Yes, he is. He's still invulnerable. God. Okay, let's see if I have enough. Okay, so see if he drops the mount for me. He didn't drop the mount for me. Let me check. Okay, yeah, extremes. That's how I want to share. What? Oh. Let's see. Let's do Bull Embers one more time. Try and get at least the mount one. We're not considering farm him all night. It was just a quick break away from the MSQ for a quick second. Give me horse. Minute 40. Okay. No horse. No horse. Wanted a horse. Horse, of course. Alright, we'll do one more, not both members. We'll do, for one more attempt at a horse, let's go. Let's see here. Should we? Yeah. Let's do this one. We'll do this, and then we'll go back to the MSQ. Try one more for a horse, and we'll go back to the MSQ. It'd be cool to add some of these older weapons from newer classes through like this, like an ice. I mean, I've got the blue crystal for a scythe, but an ice scythe would be cool. But I also understand why they don't. Yeah, let's get this cutscene. Don't think I've done I don't know if I've done Shiva by myself yet with this character. My Bun I have. I should have prepped up for this. Go over here, so I want to do this. Get a little nippy in here. All right, there you are. Horse? Horse of course, horse of course, please. Give me a horse, at least one of these. Nope. Yeah, what character class do I have that's of level 50 or close enough that I can use that with? Samurai. Samurai and Red Mage. So let's go ahead and switch over to Samurai real quick. I forgot I was still using the base gear on that. Here, yep. Yeah, let's see here. No, we're gonna keep the Fey Cane as a glamour. God, we're gonna get rid of some stuff. And save my gear set. recycle. And I think you need like, was it 5 or 25 of those to upgrade that. Did they change the model? That looks different. That does look different. Don't know. Let's put some glasses. That looks funny. Let's go put you on. Yeah, I don't care. Not for those. I mean, we could always have a little fun from the Easter setup. Yeah, well, there's another headgear out there I want to get. Although, if you guys want to see something funny, Picto. Ain't she fabulous? Oh, I'm here. Do they have any of the miscellany available? Now they've changed a lot of it. Register. Mounts. I don't have the money for. I'm actually kind of poor. Only got 366,000. Yeah, I need a couple million for that. Parasol. Oh, that torches. I was asking for that. You know, I need to get my crafting up a little bit more. Some of the prices. I mean, I probably could go to a different shard and go for it there. So what do those look like? Hollow visor. You know, let's see, hollow visor. What are the hollow specs? All right, we'll go to the hollow. We can buy that at least, and let's go ahead and buy the hollow visor dark glasses. Not for 2.5 million. I'm not. Hollow visor. What was the other one that was about 15? Yep. All right, let's have a look. I want this. We want. Let's go here. We have hollow specs. Let's go ahead and pick the color. Yeah, that's about what I figured. Hollow visor. Yeah, these are definitely from what, section 9 or whatever. And Dawn Trail. Work with those for something else. Oh my god. Well, those are definitely unique. Since these are green, I'll go ahead and do these so I can just say I have it. It's that one. That one. That one. That would actually be a good one for a funky botanist. There, now those will be all green. Okay, I'm looking for simple specs. So. Is it those, or was it the slim frame? I think it might have actually been the slim frame. Yes, there we go. Alright, let's go back to Aaronville. All quiet on the chatty front. Ranger is still level 5. Yeah, I'm nowhere near ready to get the unicorn. Should work on leveling that. I need to work on a lot of leveling a lot of these characters. I need to go back and actually learn how the hell to play Bard. I talked to Mila Zozo? Yeah. Mila Zozo. Now let's see, how'd you fare? I tracked down 3 of the packages, 1 unaccounted for. Your squeaky bag. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friend in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. What we do with the marmots now? That's for the Forum to decide. They're the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos after all, and this job was but one small part of this greater inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed, those were the 2 conditions I was given for stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum is planning for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Nienda. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm just a traveler. I'm Kryle of the Student of Baldessian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decision of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain broader perspective, does it? I'm not going to try and give the Aaronville accent that. I cannot pull that off. I know what his accent sounds like. I can't do it. Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Well, you know, friendship is blooming. I'm okay with that. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? Excuse me. So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to the great work some 4 days after Telafroy made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives a distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telafroy's declaration was what set it in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there, we can reach the lower. Kyle, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent had left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east, through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Is there any more on this upper level? No, no more on this upper level. Bum. I'm gonna get the crystal before I do anything else. Behold the Archeon. As Nomenon serves as Charlene's library archive, so does the structure house its wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as detailed records that describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Charlene's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Okay. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Now have Gemstone Trader. Greetings, we are here to peruse the Archean vaults. Peruse? You're clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? Relevant. I put an L in the wrong spot. I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. The building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What, so this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it'll be too late, and we're so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for the moment, shall we? Students of Baldessian. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in restructuring in one way or another. If we are to integrate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them to the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. It won't let us into the Archean, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, so we thought we'd donate it to the vaults. Squeaky squeal. Odd little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archean is open again. So two of them, okay, that one should be on the other side. On the other side. The bouncy, bouncy people. There he is. There he is. What's that? Take you down the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading towards the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be heading down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Probably up here. Probably. Yay. Momentum. I think the microphone is a little far away. There he is. Yep, it's Aaronville. I said. Our new, soon-to-be new old friend. I felt that sneeze again. Quite frighten it away. It's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloud cannon I need to capture is close. Very close. Huh? You wish to help me with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. You'd be surprised how many times I help people just because. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is a hornbill. Its feathers are green and its cry is a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with a sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Alright, so we're looking for green with a distinct caw. Cool. I believe it's you. Caw there. Whack whack. Thwack. Wait.
Fair shot. Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
Met up with Aaronville again. Water.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
You're moving them.
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
Below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers hand-picked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. and among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
I love the fact Aaronville was actually the
Perhaps you
first.
might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels.
Aaronville was the first male Viera that they showed, because up until later into Endwalker, male Viera were not there. You only had the female Viera because per lore wise, all that kind of fun stuff. Aaronville was the very first, as far as I'm aware of, was the very first male Viera that they showed.
And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down.
More like hiking.
This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Dun, dun. Bye. So long, farewell, baby, bye bye. Ba-ba. I need to find some different shoes if I'm going to be wearing the 2B leggings. It looks kind of weird like that. I'll have to find a decent set of shoes that kind of fit the aesthetic I'm going for here. I'll do that later. Probably after stream. We'll glamorize pretty much. This must be the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures home there by the researchers, do you think? Well, sovereign beasts aside, we'll need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Should be better. Yep, it is. So let's get the materia out. Bye, Miata. Yeah. Yeah, it was okay, but not quite again what I'm looking for with this character. At least for this glamour, anyways. Alright, Alice seems eager to get underway. Assuming everyone's tightened the straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the train ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow, and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Have me all out for an hour. Look, look, look to your left, look to your right. Ah, Mary Poppins, sort of. Mary Poppins is in training wheels. They can't fly yet. I'm here. I was having a good time. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us onto the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they kept a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumption holds true, that specimens have been collected in the preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Meh. Meh. $235 yalms east. So it's on the other side. Ah, now I know where we are. This is Marial Agronomics. Labyrinthos is a host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And is this facility that coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of the research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable success might make it to Agora, food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess the origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits inscribed on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors. Not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I am. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a malms long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seed that we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. I mean, I'm supposed to look for 3. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop that hill over there. Gods, hauling that lot up that slope was a job and a half. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in South Ilsvard. It boasts remarkable habit diversity, allowing for a myriad of flora and fauna to thrive. Hilly peaks in the north give way to a swath of temperate plains, which in turn transitions into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvos before the Imperials named it Locus Amoenus, I believe. The forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climate we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It since proved a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Alfredo. Alright, labels and crates tell a story of the contents, bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports. help us.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Arbor?
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaeum? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. and no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryo?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Is Cryo still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Erendil was heading westwards along the outside of the Archean. Come, we can still catch him. That's a ways down. Oops. Stola. Hold on a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logiscon Beta, one of Labyrinthos climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, which one could access from the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance, as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his Spanish spell were here. Oh, but there's another way of turning invisible. Hippity hop, my little toads. Goodness. Ribbit. Unaccustomed to transfiguration? Worry not, it will wear off within the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. What am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creature's whereabouts? In that form, you are essentially defenseless. Alright. Certain duties required to transform creatures. Okay. Should the transfiguration status expire, or you stay too far from the objective, you return to your original form. You may return to and start again. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. How long do I have? Half an hour. And we have a fate going on right now. We have frogs and a robot. Um, I think I need to get up top there if I remember correctly. We gotta keep it away from the Yakko. And of course, Wacko and Dot aren't here. If you're old enough to remember that, welcome to my club. I mean, Aaronville will notice us. The man knows. I mean, he...
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
I mean, it doesn't help you were standing right next to each other. I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easy to deceive, yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This momentous duty the foreign agent mentioned. Charlene has been called to action, and the Talafaroy's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it sufficient import to disrupt all Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Ystrola and Kral for the moment, see what they think of this. Where would be the nearest? Oh, excuse me. Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then? Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Krile, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her to return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. There we go. Oh, we have a blue quest, so we'll have to take care of that. $599 yalms southeast, so still kind of the general direction I'm at, but it could be also down. No, I'm not doing the Pefredo. Pefredo. Ba 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 ba. We need to have a slight talk with Vana.
For you, the spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead. Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first, so weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian, a group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge. But the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Grah! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an...
Oh, sorry. Jumped too fast.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The Forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a Forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father,
Whoop, sorry.
I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, hmm? By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlian. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Okay. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city. Our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that the mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Sharlian. How do you say it? The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about the duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may, is Father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. Alfino, Alice, it is you. I have no idea who I'm talking about here. Ah, Mom. When I heard you'd been dragged before the forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother? Millions. Emilius Levior at your service. And you fine people must be the scions of the seventh dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. Mother, please, we don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches Father that you were here... Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fortuno are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss Master with Thancred's group and reconsider our options. Go visit your home. We'll be back at the annex when you're ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure... Nienna, what do you think? Nienna? The Nienna Lior? What a splendid day this has turned out to be! Champion of Eorzi, I insist that you join us. Okay. But we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit, but should my husband return to find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Nienna, if you'd be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. And then she's gone. And with her, any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Alfina? I apologize. My mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I am glad, relieved even, to see you in such high spirits. What say you, Nienna? Though it seems we shall have a little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany us to visit our home? Alice? Fine. If we're going, then let's get it over with. Be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers. Thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away. Childhood toys. I mean, never mind. Levior Estate is that way. Straight down the stairs. Come on. Whoop. Oh, not going to make it all the way down. It is what it is. Nah, we're not going to do the lore. And here you are at last. Please do come in.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at?
Let's see here. Just admiring the craftsmanship.
Oh, I suppose I never gave the decor much thought. I'm glad that you approve, I think.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you would accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name. "'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits."
You know I embarrassed the twins. You know I asked to.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you would allow me, Master Alphino.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry. I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortunato has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Ba-da-bum-ba-da. Ba-ba-bum-ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Let's see. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will be it will have to suffice, as will these tokens of home that we carry with us. These gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Valdesian Annex. You know, I never did do the blue quest. I'll have to go back later and do that. I think it's an Aether Current Cryo. Enjoy your time with the Leviers, I hope? I would ask about how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we can help them reconcile with their father, that they might... Oh, just a notification, my mom's birthday's coming up here soon. That they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Heidland is sure to guide us along going forward. I am confident that once you've scouted out the situation in Thavnir, we'll be well equipped to plot our next move. Alright, to Thancred and the rest of them. On to Fafnir. You should be able to go this way, yep. I think it's this building. Yeah. Oh, let's see here. We've been at it for 4 hours. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to call it for the night? let's go ahead and do that. We'll call it for the evening. When we get back in, we'll continue on from here. So it's been 4 hours. I said that's one thing about Fridays. They're still technically shorter. Try to keep about 4-hour streams. Just because things, Fridays are busy. So let's see here. So thank you guys for being here. We will, my brain is farting. So let's see here. So for obviously, for everybody here in the US, enjoy your weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, be careful. Don't overdo it. But enjoy yourselves. For those around the rest of the world, it's a weekend. Have a good weekend. So, tomorrow, I do not have D&D tomorrow, so I will try to get a stream tomorrow. It'll probably begin later, unless I can swing it. If I can be earlier, keep an eye on the Discord or the Blue Sky account. If I can get into it earlier. Sunday, we're going to play something. Again, I don't know what we're going to play tomorrow either. Maybe we'll play some more of this, maybe we won't. I don't know. Sunday, we will play something. Probably try to get back into Assassin's Creed later in the evening. Maybe we'll do something earlier in the day. I don't know. Or not. Early in the morning or early in the day. Hard to say. Monday, I don't know what we're going to play. We're going to play something. Tuesday, as we know, no stream because as of right now, unless my schedule works out. Keep an eye on Discord or the Blue Sky account. Both, again, all the Discord and the Blue Sky are in down in the About Me section down below. You can also get to it through the VOD and the YouTube channel. There are links there as well. Wednesday, we will get back into Soul Hacker 2. Thursday, no planned stream. Again, same thing. Scheduling doesn't always work out. If I can, I'll let you guys know. Friday, next Friday, something. Again, like the Fridays here, it's going to be a little bit later, but we'll play something. Next Saturday, as of right now, we have D&D. So don't expect a stream next Saturday. And that's where we're at for right now. Let me see if there's anybody we can raid. Let's see here. Who's on? Bosses Versus is on. What's he doing? Marvel Rivals. Let's see here. Lusty Lynx is doing Arc Raiders. Let's see. Kung Fu Fruit Cup is doing Final Fantasy 14. We could always do that. Tia's back on Minecraft. Haven't rated. Impa's doing High on Life. Let's see. Who else can we do? You know what? Screw it. I've been following her. She's been kind of fun. She's we've rated her 2 weeks ago, I think. Either a week or 2 weeks ago. Skyberry. She is currently working through Heavensward. This is her first time playing. So I would appreciate you guys if you can stick with the raid for me. Let's go raid Skyberry. If you can't stick for a raid, that is perfectly fine. Go take care of yourselves, go to bed, whatever you need to do. So thank you guys for being here. If you're watching later on the Twitch or the YouTube VOD channel, your views are greatly appreciated if you've made it this far. And I hope you guys have a good night. Again, if you're here in the US, have a safe holiday weekend. And I'll see everybody hopefully tomorrow. Night, guys.